Okay, well, let's go on to real identities here. And the next point that I pointed out, and I think Jacob did appreciate this one, was the idea of, under Trump, legal immigrants will benefit under Trump, as opposed to under Biden and Harris. And what I meant here was not just that maybe we'll get some better border security, some more reasonable policies on immigration that could lead to relief, economic and social relief in our cities and counties, but also I think better immigration policy, better policy with regards to illegal image bearers of God. We all recognize that illegal immigrants are image bearers of God. Russell Moore, David French, whoever else is out there who would, accuse conservatives of, uh, you know, thinking that just because you come over illegal, you're not a real person or something. I'll make that caveat, but this should be also a support for legal immigrants and a validation. I think the Trump-Vance presidency will validate those who've come in legally, their efforts, their intentions, and their integrity in so doing, which has been just a forgotten sort of point from the Democrats.
And again, for the reason that you are tasked with the idea of nation building, and legal immigrants, when they come in, they participate in that. There is a civil duty that they get into. However, I think we need to also mention one of our dear fellows here at Kirkwood Center highlighted that Trump's administration is also going to take care of the illegal immigrants who were brought in, lured in with false promises. So there has to be justice done in that regard as well. So yeah, I think it's all the image bearers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a difficult issue, something to untangle. There's a couple of dynamics going on here simultaneously. One is the fact of our past, and again, I'll point to Konstantin Kissin's article when he makes a point that Americans are the most pro-immigration people in the world, and he tells his European audience, read that again seriously. Americans love an immigrant success story. They want more talented immigrants to come to America, but they refuse to accept people coming illegally. They believe in having borders. I think that's a good summation because we are a nation of immigrants. We all have a story, right? I can trace my great grandparents came through Ellis Island. I found the records for that. But here's the second caveat. So yes, we are an immigrant nation, and we recognize that. Immigration through the 70s and 80s had the numbers that the government had allowed were actually incredibly low. Now, this is because our country was growing and our population was growing and things like that. And so there were so many people who wanted to come in that we were suppressing many requests. That's not true in 2024. 1970 and 2024 are vastly different. We are now in a population decline, right? Our people are having fewer than replacement level births. So in order for America to continue to succeed, we will need to support our population by bringing in foreigners, just as we did in the early 1800s. That means that we have to restructure our immigration system so that we can accept more legal immigrants. We have to open those doors wider for a lot more legal immigrants. But that doesn't mean that we should accept illegal immigrants. So now what do we do with the 11 million, 13 million, some people estimate 15 million people who are here in the last 2 years, the last 3 years? I don't know. It's going to be very, very difficult once they're in to get them out because we don't have the judges in order for that. What these people were promised court dates. They turned themselves in, quote unquote, and they were promised a hearing to find out whether are you fleeing because you're, seeking asylum or some such means.
You
like
touched on
that.
something important there, Lenny. People don't really realize this and don't talk about it. But they should know that because of this influx of illegal immigrants, the paperwork for the legal immigrants have been backtracked.
Yeah.
What
Jake,
should have been done in 6 months is going to take 10, 12, 15, 20 years for those paperworks to be done.
Exactly.
So it's not just their paperwork, but it's also the paperwork of those who are coming here legally. Imagine how much that is going to impact the nation
So
economically.
here's one of the ways that I think if Trump can do this, you divide that. You divide Homeland Security into a legal track and an illegal track. And guess which one you put your emphasis on? The legal track. We're going to push these through faster. If you're applying for a legal status, you may get your green card years earlier. You may, be able to. That's going to be an attractive enticement to go that direction. And you don't have to worry about coyotes and all of the other. But part of the reason why illegal immigration is such a besmirchment on our society isn't because of the citizens who are here. Part of the reason why illegal immigration is illegal is for the same reason that prostitution is illegal. A prostitute, a girl who is working for a pimp or is picked up by a John, is much more likely to be abused, killed, beaten, just generally have bad things happen to her. An illegal immigrant is much more likely to be taken advantage of, stolen, left out to die, trapped on the bottom of a truck, used as a what have you. Part of the reason why illegal immigration is illegal is because it's bad for the immigrant. It's a safety precaution against them because they're putting themselves at risk. And people, I've never heard that argument made, even on both sides of the coin. The pro border people are saying, keep all of those folks out of my country. And the Democrat, let all of the poor people who can't have any food in. But you're still setting this bad dichotomy and this bad framework up. You're not caring for the individual. You're putting
And the
them in
other
harm's
side
way.
is that no one's touching on this part, that a simple question would clarify a lot of things. Who are the number one and number two people who are coming in?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I say this with much shame. Number one from northern borders from Canada, it's Indians. Number two are Indians from the southern borders. Why are Indians coming here as illegals? That's a question to be asked. And I hope no one's going to cancel me because I'm an Indian, right? I'm raising this question. Why no one's asking that? It's not really economic reasons, because they're selling their land. They're spending thousands of dollars to land in South America and in Canada, and then entering into America on wrong pretenses. A good number of them are making claims that they've been persecuted because they converted to Christianity. And on the ground, that's not the case. They know that that's the easy route to get into asylum.
Yeah, well, I think Colombia, I think we have like 1/20th of their entire population is here as in a legal status. 1/20th of an entire country's population, right? 5% of the entire country's population is here in America instead of that's just those numbers are staggering.
I mean, I don't know. I sense that this issue and the one that we're going to address next were probably the two that really pushed Trump over the top. Now the immigration issue has been long standing. I mean, it's not new. But I think it's gotten worse. And look, and we do have to also admit, I don't think we're going to pull any punches on this. We can give the benefit of the doubt that most illegal immigrants coming over don't have nefarious intentions, but as Lenny pointed out, they're susceptible to all kinds of evil. But there's going to be a reasonable percentage who are wicked and cruel men, right? And
when you enter a nation knowing that you can break their law, that's your first thing. When you enter into a nation, how many laws can you then break after that?
Right. And of course, some of those were highlighted. Some of the murders that have occurred at the hands of illegal immigrants were highlighted. And people might say that that's just purely a political, but that actually happens. That does happen. You have to validate those stories as well, of the woman whose daughter was found, we don't need to go into detail, and so on and so forth, the police officers that were shot, and this and that. So it is.
The center also mentioned that we need to also be careful that there are people who really do need help and need to be welcomed in and given the support that they need.
Right.
And the wisdom is needed in discerning who needs what.
Right.
And I think some measures needs to be taken in that regard. Hopefully this administration would do that.